Each and every artist would like to think that their pieces are one of a kind. However, the vast majority of artwork now is a product of art created before that moment. Art works linearly. The very first piece of work influenced the rest. The influence can manifest in the type of paint used by an artist, the type of lines they use, or simply the style in which they create. Without the first piece of art, we simply couldn't have the rest. Art is interdependent. It relies on many artists creating work to influence the whole community. It can also be incredibly diverse in the style in which things are made, the meaning behind the pieces, and the way in which they were created. A great way to learn about this is to look at the art movements from 1800 to 1945. Over nearly a decade and a half, the art world went through many movements, each of which with their own champions and their own goals for their pieces. Realism, Impressionism, Pointillism, Fauvism, Cubism, Futurism, and Surrealism all had their own reign in the art world. Each new movement arose from a change in available materials, changes in the political atmosphere, and the global occurrences. Movements did not simply arise out of thin air. Some were lasting, staying in favor for many years, and others found themselves to be fleeting, only lasting a short amount of time. Realism depicted everyday events in a precise way that was extremely accurate to life. It was almost like taking a photograph. Now, artists frustrated with this rigidity brought about the Impressionism movement that featured blurry, soft lines, no exact forms being outlined, and it was almost like you had to squint to see what was really being depicted in these pictures. Fauvism focused on sharp, bright colors that really attracted your eye, and they were right there, while Cubism more focused on experimenting with how to create a form and a space, and they weren't as concerned with colors nor the possible meanings behind the colors. Now, art movements showcase diversity with their work, with their different methods in creating the work and the intended meaning behind them. They also show interdependence with the fact that one gave rise to the other. Even 3 movements later, a keen eye can see the inspiration of a past movement. Having so many movements also allows new artists, like in today's world, to choose their own style. Nowadays, we don't all have to move at the same pace together when it comes to art. Artists are celebrated when they break the norms and are different than the rest. Now, differences in art are important, but so is the ability for the artist to reference the past and other famous works of art. This shows that the artist is really aware of those who have come before them. So art is really interdependent in that one piece inspires another, which inspires another, so that there's always this tie to the past. But each piece in itself is incredibly different, depending on the brushstrokes taken, the artist who actually created it, and the meaning behind it. So art is reliant on itself, however, it is quite different in each iteration created, which is what's beautiful and amazing about the topic and the subject, and just the ability to create in general.